Um, I was going to say I can go ahead and get started, but
Sure.
I think I love this conversation because I think we're all looking for partnerships. If we know anything, we know that collaboration is what has to be done to solve any of the big issues and the problems that we all want to work on. And so it's great that we're all thinking about that. I think we have lots of examples of collaborations that have been very important for us, and we can collaborate in a number of different ways. So I thought I'd just mention things that could be used to help us increase it, but that are already working pretty well. We've been seeing these collaborations growing fast, and I think all of you have been talking about that too. We opened an office in Seoul in 2010, and that has been very successful. So where we have these offices, I think we have points that can really leverage the collaboration. So we've been thinking about that. That's something we think we could continue to develop. We also think we can use our online education to create more than just teaching, but also research opportunities that can reach across the globe. We have this iPodia program, which was originated in our School of Engineering, the Viterbi School of Engineering, in 2009. And it's really, we call it a classroom without border. And I think it has a very strong global perspective in that engineering program. And that includes South Korea's KAIST is a part of that program. And it creates courses. An example would be one that we call Engineering Principles and Practices of Global Innovation. And we have more than 215 students from 11 iPodia universities, and they work in physical and virtual classrooms with project teams. So I think things that we do like that take what we're already doing and intensifying them towards teaching and research is a little bit of the answer that I gave when I talked about how do you compete with the online education. We do the things that research universities can do better than anyone else, and that's start investigating and bringing all of our wonderful research into the teaching. And we've already got great ways of doing that with Korea. So I think we have a lot of start there. I'll talk a little bit about how we can increase our research, more of our collaborations. And again, we've been doing it in areas where we have obvious connections. So a lot of ours have been with our engineering school and where we've been working with the Korean Aerospace University and Inha University, because these are big areas of strength that we have. So always these collaborations are best when they build off the faculty collaborations that already exist in these research areas, and then we maybe help fuel it. Get the connections and make things really work. But that has been my own experiences that build from the ones that are already there. So that's partly what we've been doing. And this one's been funded by Korea Air and General Electric. So sometimes when we have these great partnerships, we can get companies to help provide the funding for it. And I think there are a lot of companies that want to be in both places, in our universities and in Korea. So I think that's very promising for deepening this. And we've also been trying to build the projects that have big payoff. The aviation projects look like they may have benefits in big companies, Airbus, things like that. A second example is in public policy. Now that might sound funny. How can American public policy be a great program with Korean public policy? We've got very different public policies, but they've been doing an amazing job because both institutions are interested in trying to have a global perspective to their public policy. So we have a dual degree program with Seoul National University, and they get an MPA from USC and a global MPA from Seoul National. And so that is a very highly sought after degree. I think that's another thing that could be intensified, more of these dual degrees, and some of them have an in-person component, but they get to know each other pretty well in that online environment. So those are promising, and it can use both undergraduates and graduates, and then they graduate already with connections that are worldwide. For all of them, for getting the next degree, that's a huge benefit. We also have a program like that in our liberal arts program, our arts and science, called Dornsife. That has a Korean Studies Institute in our school, and that gives an undergraduate fellow program where the students go and do research in Korea, getting exchanges where Korean students do the same and come work with us. I mean, that's the traditional thing to do, but I don't think you want to give up on that. I think it's really important. And I think it's great if our own faculty can cross-mentor across that program, across the country. And there's many more. There's a strong program in our Division of Occupational Science and Therapy, which again is a Korean exchange program with Korean universities. So I think we can do the traditional, and then we can get out there and do a lot more of the dual degree, hybrid, very specific research. We have lots of examples of faculty who are doing these ties, and I think this is the next way we grow it, is we continue to build on the people that are already doing it. And my experience in a university is if you say to people, we will help you get things going, you get more people that want to do it than you can ever fully support. So if we make clear we really mean it, we'll find great examples. These are just 3 examples where we have faculty in very different kinds of areas, from mathematics to chemistry to language and culture, who have been working very carefully, hosting a Fulbright scholar from Korea. That's a place that we'd love to do that. We have an alumni who is the first woman president of In-High University. So for us, that's a great way to continue to deepen that relationship, build on that wonderful understanding that we already have. And we're trying to get a formal partnership for exchange between our East Asian Study Center and a leading Korean university. So I think we can just be more clear about what the big portfolio of opportunities are, and let them have a bit of a grassroots thrust, because that's usually the best way. It's harder if the president says, go do this, than it is if you respond to the faculty and the students who see those opportunities for relationships to build.